guys, can you hear me? If you guys can hear me, please chat it out just to make sure that everything's working and stuff. Let's see, anyone want to let me know if it's working? Maybe. Awesome. There you go, guys. And then I see Evan and Ann in there. Awesome. Hopefully we'll get a few more people to join us. But anyways, guys, welcome to the next Cooking with Coach presented by Coach Misha live stream. Today what we're going to be making is kind of a salad with a bunch of S ingredients, okay? Including spinach, squash, sweet potato. I think that's kind of it. We have a bunch of other ingredients as well, and you'll see them all listed right over here, okay? So for our ingredients, what we have first is sweet potato right up here. Then right below that we have squash. I'm actually using two types of squash, butternut and it's like delicate squash, something like that. We also have chicken, but you can really use any sort of protein that you want. I made this recipe before with shrimp, and that turned out pretty good. You're also going to need spinach, quinoa, avocado, and olive oil, as well as hazelnuts. Alright, guys. Now, if you want to make the dressing for this, which you totally can, you also can exclude it if you'd like, if you want to have it be a little bit lower calorie. But if you are going to make the dressing is going to be made out of Greek yogurt, lemon, ACV, apple cider vinegar, salt and pepper, and garlic. Alright? So guys, the longest part of this recipe is going to be that squash and sweet potatoes. So the very first thing we want to do, hopefully you did it beforehand, but otherwise we want to preheat our oven to about 425, okay? I'm going a little bit higher, 450, just because my oven isn't that great. So what we're going to do is we want to cube our squash and our sweet potato into pretty small pieces, okay? So what we're going to do here is, just because everything else is going to take less time, because we first need to put in that squash for 25 minutes, kind of toss it around, and then have it in there for another 20 minutes. We want to make sure we get that done first to kind of optimize our time best, because we'll be able to make all the rest of the parts of this recipe within those 45 minutes, alright? So the very first thing is I have my different types of squash right here. So I have, this is the butternut squash, and this is the delicate squash or something like that. And then here I have my sweet potato. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my sweet potato and then cut that. And then I need to peel and cut these right here, alright? So we're going to go ahead and get that started. Let me know if you guys are making this recipe in the chat, just so then, if nobody's necessarily making it, I'll just kind of move along at a relatively quick pace. But then if you guys are making it, I can wait for you guys a little bit longer. Awesome. Hopefully making it for another day, Mike. It's a pretty good recipe. A lot of these recipes come from Feeding the Frasers. Matt Fraser's girlfriend, Sammy. Just watching too. And I assume, Evan, you're just watching as well. Yeah, hopefully, Mike. This is a really great recipe. I highly recommend it. And again, you totally don't have to make the dressing if you don't want to. Yeah. There you go, man. Hopefully you had some veggies with that, I'd hope. So guys, real quick, as far as the sweet potato goes, I don't necessarily peel my sweet potato. You can if you want, but I just find that the skin is totally fine with that, and it adds, I believe, some fiber So that's not a bad thing. It's gonna take about this much of it. Alright. Let me just weigh this real quick just to give you guys a point of reference. This is about 159 grams. Good. There you go, man. Seen broccoli and cauliflower. That's awesome. Gotta get that balanced meal. Mike Ann, what did you guys have for tonight? Tomato soup and grilled cheese, nice. That's kind of like the classic Panera Bread combo, I think. So you guys can see the size of these pieces. Alright, pretty small. One thing I like to do, because we're going to want to salt and pepper and olive oil, everything here. So I'm going to take this pretty big Tupperware container. I'm just going to put everything in here. That way I can just toss everything around together. Man, these squash are a real pain in the butt to cut up. Now this may seem a little unsafe, and that's because it probably is, but almost there, almost there. Awesome. So I have this little piece. I'm not going to use a whole lot of that one, but I am going to use a little bit more of the butternut squash. I'm probably going to use this whole thing right here. How was class today, if anybody of you guys were in there? I don't know if I saw you guys in, I see tomorrow we have Grace. That's going to be exciting. Evan, you coming in? It's a really big benchmark. So I definitely think about it. And am I gonna see you tomorrow, Mike, in class? I'm coaching all evening classes. Oh, that's right. We can always just do cleans if you'd like, but that's totally up to you. But yeah, for sure. We'll come up with something. It'll always be fun. Let's see, how do I want to cut this? It was actually a little easier to cut. So you really want to balance how thin you cut it, because the thinner you cut it, the smaller pieces it'll be. Not tomorrow. Today was alright. Ooh, dang. Got some of your first calluses there. And for sure, Mike, we'll always work it out. Always looking after you guys. Let's see. Awesome. So that's half of that. Let's see. Alright, so this is finally done. Just about. There we go, finally. Perfect. So we have all of our sweet potato squash, I don't know what you'd call it. I'm gonna go ahead and drizzle this over this. I see we gained a few viewers. If you guys want to shout out who you are there, if you want. I'm actually going to add something. I'm going to add a little bit of paprika right here. It's going to add just a little bit of heat. Not a whole ton, you'll see just a tiny bit there. Perfect, so we have all of this ready to go. Let's see, now I'm going to need my pan and some aluminum foil. want to try to get as much of it as I can out. There we go. Gonna just distribute that all around. Perfect, and there we go. Alright guys, perfect. So, from here, what we're going to do is, I threw in basically the sweet potatoes and the squash into the oven. I'm going to put it in for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, I'm going to move it all around and just make sure that all of the pieces that, well, not the pieces, but the sides that were on the bottom that were getting a little bit crispy are now on the top, so now they can really circulate that hot air everywhere to be able to cook them, okay? And then once we toss it around, we're going to throw it in for another 20 minutes. So basically you can set a 45-minute timer, look halfway, and then you'll be good on that end, okay? So from here, guys, what we're going to do is I'm just going to clean my area. Again, we got really 45 minutes to kill. I might honestly end the stream a tiny bit early just because you don't really need to see me throw everything together, but we'll see. Most likely we will just hold on to it, and then maybe you can just, I don't know, chill out here for a second, throw in a video for us to watch. Actually gonna need that. But yeah. Awesome. I'm sure you need that as well. Perfect. Remember to always stay hydrated, guys. Make sure you guys stay hydrated too, everyone watching at home. On that subject of hydration, let's all go ahead and say our favorite type of beverage, non-alcoholic beverage. Favorite type of non-alcoholic beverage. And I won't use Zevia as a cop-out. I'll say a draft latte. Alright? I'd say that's one of my favorite types of non-alcoholic beverages. So, what are your guys' favorite non-alcoholic beverages? Could be some sort of juice, some sort of coffee drink, some sort of tea, something like that. If you guys want to chat that out. Just so we can also get to know each other a little bit more as well. Grapefruit sparkling water, that sounds good. The grapefruit Zevia is really good. I think I have it. Yeah. This was one of the choices before. I think you guys actually did that. GTS Gingerade Kombucha. Oh. Is GTS Gingerade just like the brand name of like a kombucha or something? I don't drink a whole lot of kombucha. I don't know, I don't love the taste of it. I know it's healthy and all, but Oh, GTS brand ginger ale is a flavor. Where do you find that, Evan? 'Cause I don't know. I really don't know where I'd find that. Maybe it's just me though. It is at Trader Joe's. I gotta make sure I look into that. I might go, maybe not tomorrow, maybe Friday, potentially. But I'll take a look. I'll be sure to take a look. Is it like a single serving thing, or is it like a big container or something like that? Jenny or Target might have it too. I'll be sure to check it out at 16-ounce bottle. I mean, you don't drink kombucha a whole lot at a time, right? You just drink like a sip or two and then you're done for like a week. I don't think I could drink that much of it anyways. Up to 9 viewers, that's awesome. One of our highest view counts. Again, guys, be sure if you haven't followed the channel yet, be sure to follow us and tell all your friends about it. The only way we can grow this channel and to reach more people and get like a better production value and stuff. You drink one whole thing a week? Damn, bro. I mean, good for you. You probably have a good gut microbiome. I tried to drink apple cider vinegar before. Or, not apple cider vinegar, kombucha. It's kind of similar to apple cider vinegar, but a little more palatable, I'd say, definitely. I know I've tried some of the Trader Joe's ones before. Has anyone else here in chat had kombucha? I'm sure you guys probably have. If you do, what's your favorite type of kombucha? Or like brand or stuff like that? Because I know I've had the Trader Joe's ones a few times, but I haven't loved it enough to buy it more than once. Alright guys, so right now I'm just kind of gathering my other ingredients that I need. I think I do need, yeah. Let's see. Okay, cool. I think I have everything right now. So, awesome. So here are all my ingredients that I need remaining. So I have my spinach and my quinoa. What I'm going to do in a few minutes here is I'm going to cook the quinoa, and then kind of at the last second I'm going to add in the spinach, and then I'm going to kind of let that sit on low for a while we kind of wait for our stuff in the oven to be finished up. I have my chicken right here. I'm going to cube that and then toss it with salt and pepper, and then you guys, if you want, you can add in any other sort of seasonings that you'd like. And then I have for my dressing here. Oh, I forgot. Totally forgot about Dijon mustard. Make sure you have Dijon mustard as well. That's right. There we go. So yeah, what I have here is I have plain whole milk Greek yogurt, apple cider vinegar. Okay. I have a lemon. I'm going to be using about the juice from half of it. And maybe even a quarter, honestly, but most likely half. And then Dijon mustard, alright? Let me know if you guys have any questions at this stage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start prepping the chicken, alright? So I'm going to move everything off to the side. Alright, so you want to make sure our hands are nice and clean whenever we handle any sort of poultry. Alright guys, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to grab my chicken. I'm going to use about 5 ounces or so, maybe a little bit more. Just going to kind of eyeball it. Something like that. I'm just going to weigh it just so I know roughly how much. This maybe looks like 4.6-ish. Something like that, maybe a little bit under, but that should be fine. 4.1 even, yeah, so I'm going to add in actually a little bit more. That's looking like a 4.97, I'm fine with that. Alright, so I have my chicken right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it up into little pieces and then throw it in this bowl. So we can toss it around with the seasoning a lot easier. A lot more easily, I should say. Do you guys have any ideas for recipes that you guys would like me to do some research into making on the stream? Let me know if you guys want me to make anything very specifically. Any sort of maybe like small healthy dessert, something like that. I know I've gotten a few requests for kind of recipes where you can sneak veggies into it. Bagels, we'll do bagels for sure at some point. Bagels are gonna have to be a 2-day thing, or maybe even like a again, since we'll have to proof them for about an hour or 2, it may be a Sunday stream where we stream at like noon and then again at like 2 or 3 slightly later. Or potentially even a whole day afterwards. Hidden veggies. We'll definitely do that. I need to make some, that pesto is a really good one to try. I once saw, I believe it was avocado brownies with spinach. I think that's what it was. I'm not 100% sure. It might have been just avocado brownies, but well, I mean, like, that kind of takes the fun out of it, because then you guys aren't immediately cooking with me, and the goal is always to have you guys cook alongside me, so. You're having the pesto tonight, that's awesome. Be sure to send me a picture of that if you can, so I can feature it on the Instagram. If you don't have, you can just contact me on like Instagram. You can just DM me, honestly. Alright, now I'm just going to try to evenly distribute the seasoning as much as I can. Awesome. I'm going to set that over to the side. And again, wash my hands because we always want to think about food safety. I have about 9 minutes left on my first timer and about 30 minutes left on my second. So as soon as the second timer, or excuse me, the first timer is done, I'm going to flip the sweet potatoes and squash, and then I'm going to get started on my quinoa and chicken. Just make sure that I'm not waiting too long, so while afterwards the chicken is cooked. Just gonna do a little bit of cleaning right now. Clean up my area. Would you guys be interested in seeing kind of like more snacks, like those jalapeno poppers that I made the other day, or even like kind of like healthy sweet snacks, stuff like that? Or would you guys kind of prefer sticking to kind of the full meals? Because that's totally fine if you guys would rather see more meals being done rather than the smaller snacks. I might have small mini sessions where we just make smaller snacks instead of these bigger streams. Again, making sure we're always staying hydrated. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to start on the dressing. Ideally you want to start it a little bit closer to the time that you're going to be eating it, just so it doesn't like separate out or anything weird like that. So unfortunately I actually didn't realize I don't have any garlic. But what you would do with the garlic is you would just basically mince it almost as finely as you can and just throw that in your whatever container you want to mix it in. I'm just going to use this glass here. Alright, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of foil on top and then just shake it up like that, as well as using a whisk right here. So basically, let me go back overhead. First thing we're going to do is we're going to squeeze half a lemon's worth of lemon juice in it. Again, if you're just making it for one person, I would go maybe just one lemon, half a lemon. But if you're making this for a little bit larger batch, or if you want to make more of this dressing to use on other stuff, you can totally use a full lemon. Otherwise, we're looking at about maybe a tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm actually going to need my measuring spoons anyways, so I might as well get them out. So 1 tablespoon, yeah, that looks close enough to a tablespoon. We gotta fish out the seed though. There's 1, that's it, perfect. Next up, guys, what we want is apple cider vinegar. We're gonna do 1 full tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Alright, guys, so I'm actually gonna use a little bit less because I don't love apple cider vinegar, again, like I said, but we're gonna go for about, again, 1 tablespoon. Alright. For the garlic, I realized I forgot to mention this. We're looking at about maybe 1 or 2 cloves if you're making it for yourself. Maybe 3 if you're making it for a slightly larger batch. We want about a teaspoon of garlic per person, alright, per meal. And you will actually have a good amount of this dressing left over, because you don't want to use a whole ton of it. But otherwise, yeah, pretty much make as much as you want. You can store it in the fridge if you have it in a mason jar for maybe like a week or 2. I definitely wouldn't try to push it though with the expiration on that. Next up, we're gonna do the Greek yogurt. We're gonna go ahead and need about a 1/4 cup, all right? Let me open this up somehow. There we go. A 1/4 cup is going to be looking about 170 divided by 3. I'd say about 56-ish grams of Greek yogurt. 56 grams. Gotta tear that out. That was about 16. And a little bit more. $50, and then the lemon storage. Yeah, my girlfriend actually got me this big Tupperware container set. I think it's just like Members Mark or something. It's really not that bad. It's pretty good. I use it for a lot of things. Alright, so right now I have my lemon juice, I have my apple cider vinegar, and I have my Greek yogurt. All that's left is the Dijon mustard, and again, if I had garlic, I would throw that in, but otherwise, I do not right now. And we're going to need a little bit of pepper as well. So for Dijon mustard, I really don't like Dijon mustard, but it's okay in this recipe, I guess. We're really not looking at a lot. We're looking at about 5 grams or about a teaspoon, alright? It kind of hurt me to buy this big thing of it. Because I know I'm not going to use it all. That's our first timer there. That's about 4. You know what? That's enough. 4 is plenty. And then finally, I'm going to add in a tiny bit of black pepper. Perfect. There we go. Awesome. Alright, so what I'm going to do from here is grab some tin foil. I'm going to cover it up twice on here, just to make sure it's nice and secure. I am going to whisk it also, but I find this is pretty helpful. There we go. I'd say it's generally roughly incorporated. And then, because this whisk is actually pretty big, all I'm going to do is just kind of mix it like that. Alright, so I'm going to leave that for a second. And I'm actually going to reset my overhead view here for the stove cam. The legendary stove cam. If I can get it set up here. Let's see if this works. There. Alright, that should be good. Perfect. Stove cam's great, Mike. Stove cam's great. Alright, there we go. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I wouldn't say that adds much. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to, for my quinoa, I'm going to use, let's say, I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of quinoa, and then typically you want to add in twice the amount of water as you do quinoa. So I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of water to this little pot, and then a 1/4 cup of the quinoa itself. I like to get the tri-colored, the multicolored quinoa, but they unfortunately didn't have it at Trader Joe's whenever I went, so I'm just going with red quinoa. I don't think it matters at all. I'm also going to set this pan right here on about medium high-ish. Put a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to cook my chicken in here. So you can see my quinoa right in here. I'm going to turn on the stove onto about medium high to high, and then I'm going to just cover that and let that sit for a little bit. In addition, guys, one thing I'm going to do in order to fancy up the salad a little bit, I'm going to add in some of these hazelnuts. I always want to say pecans for some reason, but no, they're hazelnuts. I'm not going to add a ton, I'm just going to roast them. So I'm just going to put them on the top rack of my oven. Let's say just about like this much or so. So not a whole ton. Just gonna throw that in the top rack. And I'm also gonna need to grab my sweet potatoes and company here. And you guys can't really see what's going on, but I'm just gonna give them a quick toss, just move it all around. We want these to be just about fork tender. We don't want it to be super tough whenever we're biting in. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these back in. And that's going to be in there for about another 15 or so minutes. So I see this quinoa is slowly getting up to a boil. What are your guys' favorite types of salads? Let's do that next. This is one type of salad, but there are a bunch of different ones. Caesar, like garden salad, stuff like that. Do you guys like really seasonal salads, kind of like this one, where you use really seasonal specific veggies? What kind of salads do you like? I always really like Caesar salad. I don't know why. I think, who doesn't really like a good Caesar salad? That's not too bad. I'm going to lower the heat a tiny bit on there. All that quinoa is really going to absorb all of that water, and it's going to grow a little bit. So we want to make sure that we give enough time. Guess you guys don't like salads that much. Cobb salad? What's in a Cobb salad? Because I've definitely heard of Cobb salads before, but I don't think I know what makes a Cobb salad a Cobb salad. I don't think I'm too familiar. I'm putting my chicken in, by the way, guys. Oh, so it's like chicken, hard-boiled egg, and bacon bits. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. I always try to work on my little pan flips there, especially with something like eggs or pancakes. You want to make sure you have it down pretty well. Otherwise, you might not survive. We got one salad there. Mike, do you have a favorite salad? Evan, I think Jen, you're in there. Any favorite salads? Or even places where you've got your favorite salad. I know Olive Garden is a classic, of course. But I once had a pretty good salad at BJ's Brew House. You can kind of swirl around the quinoa to kind of see how it's absorbed. I'm going to throw the lid on just a tiny bit. Eaton Park Salad Bar. Nice. I don't think I've ever been to Eaton Park. Oh, the salads can be great. That's where you gotta work on it. I'll come up with some good salad recipes because I used to have some good salads. I used to make pretty good salads myself. We'll make them fun. Buffalo chicken salad. Atrias. I'm not familiar. There's Atrias around here. Atria's restaurant. Looks like they're kind of local. Never heard of them, honestly. What kind of are they like Pittsburgh only, or are they like a chain like around the US and stuff? Alright, so real quick guys, my quinoa here has pretty much absorbed all the water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my spinach. Keep in mind that spinach wilts pretty easily, so honestly, I'm going to add in just like that whole bag, and it's going to go down to like almost nothing, so you can really add a good amount of spinach and it won't take up a whole lot of volume. I'm also going to add in a tiny bit of water. Italian Village. I also haven't heard of Italian Village. Clearly, I'm not very well versed in a lot of these places. Oops. A little spill there. I'm going to cover this as well. Turn down the heat a little. I'm also just flipping over some of these individual pieces of chicken just to make sure that they all get cooked, because whenever I flip it, it's not super consistent. I know, dude, Blaze Pizza's so good though. This is definitely my cheat meal of choice. Blaze Pizza is. Guys, for today, what do we think we're going with? We're going with terracotta, or are we going with kind of like navy cobalt blue? which one we going with today, guys? You guys pick. You can also see our spinach starting to wilt a lot more here. You can really kind of cook this for as long as you want. Cobalt blue. Any other votes? Just cobalt potentially. One thing I'm actually gonna do right now, I'm gonna put my sweet potatoes and squash on the top rack, and I'm gonna turn on my broil just to kind of get a little bit of crispiness. I haven't tried that before, but I think that might not be a bad idea. My hazelnuts are looking pretty well toasted there, so I'm just gonna set them out. I'll just throw them actually on the bottom rack. That should be totally fine. I'm going to turn on broil for a few minutes here. I have about 3 minutes left. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Awesome. Cobalt it is then. There we go. So our spinach is looking nice and wilted with the quinoa. Now our chicken is cooking up nicely here. I kind of wish I would have done smaller pieces just to make sure that it's distributed a little bit more evenly, but that's alright. So yeah, for you guys, you can really make the pieces as large or small as you want. If you want, you can even do kind of like strips, so you can just have your piece of protein, whether that's beef or chicken, just cook it completely whole, like like a whole chicken breast, or at least like cut it, but don't dice it. And then afterwards, you can let it cool for a few minutes, and then kind of slice it like that to be more like strips, either again strips of steak or chicken. And that's just some ways you can kind of customize this recipe to your liking. You don't have to have it be exactly like this. Cooking is all about adapting to different situations. You don't always have to have the same recipe for everything. Now, one final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of avocado. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use about a quarter of an avocado, and then I'm going to cut it again into an eighth, and then I'm going to cube that and put that into this mixture right here. This chicken is pretty much good to go, so I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to throw it in here. There we go, we have this. Let me see, I gotta grab my avocado here. I have about 30 seconds left on my oven timers, which is perfect timing. Alright, so what I have is my avocado. I'm going to cut it up into small pieces right here. All in there. 3, 2, 1. And that is my oven timer. I'm going to lower the heat on there. I'm going to grab my oven stuff. I'm first going to grab my hazelnuts here. I'm going to put them right. Oops. Well, I'll get those in a sec. A little bit of a spill there. And then I have, some of these pieces are a little bit crispy, it looks like. Have them right here. Some of them got a little burnt, but that's no problem at all. Let me see. I'm just going to use a tin foil as a funnel to just easily move them all into that mixture. Go ahead and put that right in there. Awesome. I'm going to just collect some of these, throw them back in. Also going to make sure to turn off my oven. I constantly forget to do that, actually, which is pretty bad. Not the best thing. And then I'm just going to mix everything around in here. So you can see we have a lot of really bright colors in here. Again, if you have a colorful meal, either you're eating something probably radioactive or something really healthy. Or something made of plastic. Awesome, so there we have it. Let me go ahead and switch it here in a moment. Well, I should just do this. Perfect. Alrighty, I'm just going to move this real quick. Now this is going to be very hot, so you want to be careful. I would definitely wait a few minutes before you try to start to eat it. Alright, gonna go ahead and plate it up. This looks great. We have a lot of varying textures in here, a lot of varying flavors. There we go. Awesome. So let me go ahead and bring this up a little bit closer. Might have to tilt the camera down for a sec. Hopefully the camera doesn't die on me. Looks like it has pretty low battery. There we go. Doesn't that look great? Oops. Now it could There you go. Looks really good. Now you guys just gotta try it out. So we have this as well as our dressing here. And now what I would do is maybe I have one of these things that I bought a little bit ago. Just kind of drizzle it right on top. There you go, awesome. So we have a really healthy salad here with our kinda healthy-ish dressing there. I guess right before we go here, let's go ahead and choose my Zevia for the night. Alright, 3 options here. We got grapefruit citrus, mountain Zevia. This is still a little bit too hot to taste, so I'm gonna have to wait like another 2 or 3 minutes or something. We got caffeine-free cola and mountain Zevia. You might be able to see it. Basically, red, green, or blue. Red, green, or blue. Let me see. I'd probably maybe go fork, maybe spoon. You guys can kind of choose. That's really good. Green to match the meal. Mountain Zevia, their Mountain Dew knockoff. I think that's a good reason to match the meal. Green salad, healthy salad-ish. We'll go with green. There we go. Awesome. A little bit fancy there. Awesome. Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you're watching this later on YouTube, if and when I decide to post this, or if you're watching it on a replay on Twitch, be sure to follow the channel. Tell all your friends about it. The only way we can grow this channel is by telling your friends, getting more people involved. If you can, really try to join us cooking next time. Next cooking session is going to be this Saturday or Sunday. Not exactly sure what we'll do yet. Potentially bagels, but we'll have to see. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.